Welcome to This Explainer. We're heading way off dry land today, straight out into the terrifyingly dark, open ocean. We're going to dive into a pretty fascinating mystery of modern engineering and maritime navigation. Have you ever wondered why the world's largest ships, these massive, floating cities of steel, operate completely without headlights? I mean, think about it for a sec. We intuitively put headlights on absolutely everything, right? You drive your car at night, you turn on your lights. You ride a bike, you strap on a headlamp. Even miners venturing deep into pitch-black caves wear powerful lights right on their hard hats. Yet massive cargo vessels and cruise ships, traveling through an environment that has literally zero street lamps or moonlight, just move in utter pitch-black darkness. Why on earth would engineers purposefully design it this way? Well, to really get this, we first have to understand the environment out there. The open ocean at night isn't just dark. It is a massively disorienting, terrifying void. When you're out there miles and miles away from civilization, there's absolutely zero ambient city glow. The ocean essentially just disappears into a solid wall of blackness. Just picture the sensory experience of standing on the deck of one of these colossal ships at midnight. You look out and you honestly can't even tell where the sky ends and the sea begins. There are no roads, there are no lines painted on the ground, no visible horizons to orient yourself at all. It's just an endless stretch of black water, and this giant vessel is slicing right through it, seemingly totally blind. It sounds incredibly dangerous, doesn't it? And to see exactly why navigating the dark sea is so high stakes, we have to look back at a freezing, foggy night in April 1912. The tragic sinking of the RMS Titanic completely changed maritime history. Picture the scene. The Titanic, hailed as this absolute engineering marvel and the largest ship in the world, was on its maiden voyage. Inside, people are dancing, completely unbothered. But outside, the ship is plowing through pitch-black darkness, entirely unaware of a monster iceberg lurking right in its path. Because that iceberg was shrouded in the dark, it was spotted way too late. The collision that followed caused the great ship to sink, and it tragically took the lives of around 1,500 people. It still stands as one of the most famous and devastating maritime disasters in human history. Today, that incredible marvel of engineering is sitting in a silent grave, 3,000 meters deep on the ocean floor. But in the immediate aftermath of the tragedy, during all those official investigations, the surviving passengers and crew members were asking one very obvious, burning question. It's the exact same question you or I would ask, right? If the Titanic had just been equipped with giant headlights, wouldn't the captain have spotted that iceberg from miles away? Couldn't they have just turned the wheel in time and saved everyone? It honestly seems like such a logical assumption, but the truth is completely counterintuitive. Here is the wild reality. Ship engineers didn't just accidentally forget to put headlights on ships, they deliberately leave them off. Why? Because slapping giant headlights onto a massive ship would actually cause significantly more danger, not less. And this brilliantly shows how the physics of the open ocean are just entirely different from the physics of a normal highway. It essentially boils down to the sheer scale of momentum. Let's look at stopping distances for a second. If you're driving a car at night and you spot an obstacle, say 100 to 150 meters ahead, you just hit the brakes, swerve, and you safely avoid it. No problem. But a massive cargo ship, 100 meters is practically just the length of its own bow. If a colossal ship needs to make a safety turn or come to a complete halt, it needs several kilometers of warning. And to light up several kilometers of the ocean, you would need lights so blindingly powerful that they'd practically turn night into day. And this is exactly where physics becomes your enemy. The ocean does not absorb light the way dark asphalt on a road does. The sea is constantly moving, it's churning with waves, and it's frequently covered in fog or heavy rain. If you shine a massive spotlight into that kind of environment, you create something called a white wall. Think about the last time you drove in heavy fog and accidentally flicked on your high beams. You didn't magically see farther down the road, right? You just saw a blinding white sheet of light bouncing right back into your face. And there's another really crucial point here. Human eyes are incredibly adaptable, and a ship's crew relies heavily on their natural night vision. Once your eyes adapt to the dark, you can actually spot subtle shapes, distant shadows, and tiny lights way out on the horizon. But if you turn on a giant searchlight, or worse, if another ship shines a giant headlight directly at your bridge, your natural night vision is instantly destroyed. It takes crucial minutes for human eyes to readjust to that darkness. And out on the open ocean, being functionally blind for a few minutes can literally dictate life or death. So that begs a really fascinating question. If they absolutely cannot use giant headlights to see where they're going, how does real navigation actually happen? How do multiple giant ships pass each other in the pitch black without crashing? Well, the answer lies in an ingenious, layered system of subtle solutions that sailors have been perfecting for decades. To solve this, sailors use a kind of maritime decoder ring. Instead of lighting up the entire ocean, ships use low-power, specifically colored lights to silently communicate with each other. These definitely aren't just for decoration. They're a vital maritime language. Every single ship has a red light on its left side, which is known as the port side. It has a green light on its right side, the starboard side, and it has white lights positioned forward on the masthead and the stern. By just reading these tiny little dots of light out in the dark, a captain instantly knows exactly what another vessel is doing. For instance, if you look out into the blackness and see only a red light drifting across the horizon, you know the left side of a ship is facing you. If you see a green light, you're looking at its right side. But, and this is absolutely critical, if you look out and see a red light, a green light, and a white light all stacked together, you need to move right now because that ship is heading straight for you. But you know, this visual system is really just the foundation. Today, safety relies on this amazing symphony of technological layers all working together in the dark. We have those visual navigation lights to figure out angles, sure, but we also stack on radar, which bounces radio waves out into the dark, alongside AIS and GPS, which basically provide a digital overlay of everything moving on the water. Radar is truly incredible because it doesn't care at all about darkness. It sends out radio waves that bounce off coastlines, massive icebergs, and other ships, creating a detailed map right on a screen. Then you have AIS, the Automatic Identification System. Think of it like a digital name tag that's constantly broadcasting a ship's identity, its precise speed, and exact direction to everyone else. But, and this is a big caveat, these tools aren't flawless. Radar can easily miss a small floating shipping container or heavy waves. AIS won't pick up a wooden fishing boat that has no power. That is exactly why highly trained human lookouts, with their eyes perfectly adapted to the dark, are still absolutely essential to this day. Now, just to clarify real quick, it's not that ships literally don't possess bright lights at all. They do, but they are strictly reserved for very specific close quarters tasks. They have powerful searchlights, but those are only flipped on during emergency rescue operations. They use floodlights, but only when they're slowly, carefully docking in a busy, illuminated harbor. Icebreakers do use heavy lights, but that's because their highly specific job is to actively smash into visible chunks of ice right in front of them. For standard open ocean travel, all those big lights stay completely off. But there is one final, almost hidden reason why the oceans remain dark, and honestly, it has nothing to do with human safety. It has everything to do with the incredibly delicate ecosystem beneath the waves. The massive impact that artificial light has on marine life is something we really often overlook. The biological consequences of light pollution on the open ocean are actually quite devastating. Think about baby sea turtles. They're naturally programmed to follow the subtle light of the moon reflecting on the water so they can find their way. Massive artificial ship lights completely confuse them, dragging them wildly off course. Seabirds get disoriented by bright spots in the void and literally crash right into illuminated decks. Even the fundamental day and night cycles of microscopic plankton and vast coral reefs get utterly disrupted by artificial light. So keeping the oceans dark isn't just about saving ships, it is absolutely crucial for protecting the natural rhythm of marine life. So as we pull all these threads together, there's a powerful realization about modern maritime travel that I want you to take away with you. A ship in the dark isn't blind. It is just reading the ocean differently. It's reading the silence, the sweeps of the radar, those subtle red and green dots on the horizon, and the digital signals bouncing silently through the night. So the next time you picture a colossal ship gliding silently through a terrifyingly pitch-black ocean, ask yourself, are they really navigating completely in the dark, or are we just blind to how they actually see? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and as always,